All right. Well, welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm Jeff Sherman, and we have Eric Lopkin on the other end. And Eric, before we got together, you were talking about the jobs report. So maybe you want to fill us in on what's going on and your interpretation of it.
Yeah, jobs report came in today. Unemployment rate dropped to 3.9%, which is actually the lowest unemployment rate since the year 2000.
When the economy was essentially, that was right before the tech bubble crashed. The economy was literally smoking. I remember I was around then. And the economy was so good, I was watching a local TV broadcast, and they literally said, well, we're in Connecticut. And if you're unemployed in Connecticut, you better check the spelling on your resume.
Well,
A far cry from the days of Obama. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's still some problems with the report. The participation rate is still too low, but with all of the baby boomers retiring, that participation rate may not come back up because people are actually retiring rather than just stopping looking. The job market is actually booming now, which it hasn't done really since, I would say, the early days of Bush's second term was the last time we had
Bush's foreign policy to go there, but I do know under Bush, obviously the last 2 years or last year was a disaster with the housing bubble crisis, but the economy was quite good.
No, at the end of his first term, beginning of his second term, the economy was going well.
Yes, it was. But it begs the question: what political ramifications does it have, if any? I mean, because you look at it, Obama was a very popular president, especially by the mainstream media, yet his jobs numbers and the economy under him completely sucked.
Yeah, I mean, he was propped up by popular opinion, by the media, but his accomplishments did not match that. Trump actually has the other problem. His accomplishments are quite impressive, but he doesn't have that backing of the media.
Okay, but why?
I honestly,
I'm looking
I
at
think
it.
it's the world's biggest temper tantrum.
Yes, I mean, to me, it makes no sense. First of all, what the heck are you resisting? Could you please fill me in on this? What is so outrageous about Donald Trump besides his orange hair?
I have no idea
I don't
what
get the outrage
they're pushing so hard against. MSNBC today actually came out and said that if Trump's reign keeps going the way it has been, they're predicting a Trump landslide for a second term.
I believe if he does not get impeached or severely sidetracked by the Mueller investigation, it will be deja vu all over again, a la Ronald Reagan, 1984. This is exactly what happened. Reagan, first 2 years, the media hated him. Popularity of him was not good. Although if you looked at the Rasmussen report, Trump is over 50. It's at 51%. And obviously, you know the story. I think Reagan won every state, but maybe Massachusetts.
Reagan lost Minnesota and the District of Columbia because it was Mondale's home state.
That's it. So I believe that we were in a parallel universe with Obama, where numbers didn't make a difference. It was all identity politics. It was all, a lot of racial issues, a lot of subterfuge. But I believe 2-3 years of people taking home income, having a job, what that all means for your self-worth, for your financial health. Dr. Lopkin, does this go out the window? Meaning, does the whole people look when they go into the voting booths and say, hey, I was barely making ends meet. Yeah, I got fed a bunch of nonsense by Obama about identity politics and about this and about that, and how everything wasn't fair and, Occupy Wall Street. But now I have a job, and guess my family's doing well. What do you think? Do you think identity politics comes into play, or do you think people look at their wallet and say, God, I have self-respect and I have a job?
I think they look at their wallet and they vote their wallet. The state of Connecticut just reported an unexpected additional income tax windfall of $2 billion. And that's all because people are making more money and doing better. They're employed again. I don't think you can turn your back on that.
Well, let me ask you another question as we close out this segment. Kanye West was in the news, basically saying he's a Trump supporter. Do you think some of the constituency, traditional constituency of the Democratic Party, with its good economy and other factors, foreign policy, let's just take African American and the Jewish constituency of the Democratic Party. You look at Trump, much stronger on Israel than the current Democratic Party, which is actually pro-Palestinian. And then you look at African Americans' lot in life. Hey, unemployment in their sector is at a record lows. They have jobs, they have self-respect. Your comment as we close this out, does the Democratic Party run the risk of losing some of their die-in-the-wool constituency?
Oh, they certainly do. And they're aware of it because a number of them have already started lobbying Adidas to drop Kanye and sever their business connection with him because they want to discredit Kanye West because they don't want him bringing the African American community to the Republican Party.
And isn't the current African American leadership really a cottage industry unto itself? They're feeding off poverty. That's what empowers them. Isn't that not correct, Dr. Lopkin?
Well, that's pretty much true of every political group. Their power comes from keeping people down and
power.
Right, and keeping them, dependent on government.
Amazing. Well, another great segment of Carnivore Bites, Dr. Lopkin. Again, we'll be touching base next week to talk about the issues at hand, correct?
Correct.
You've been listening to Carnivore Radio's podcast. You can catch us here every week. Carnivore Radio is part of the Xvadio podcast network. You can listen to the podcast at blogtalkradio.com/Xvadio. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can listen to us live every Friday at 4 o'clock on WESU 88.1 Middletown, Connecticut. You can also catch us online at WESUFM.org. We look forward to hearing from you and see you next week.